It's the final installment of the trilogy of the cheap Chinese chainsaw, this particular one. And the whole video series kind of started because of this one I got a while ago, which is a great little chainsaw. It's a cheap cordless chainsaw, runs on an 18-volt battery, and it's got one slight flaw. It does have a safety guard up here, but it's not on because the screw has fallen out. But it's got a variable speed trigger, but there's no safety feature. So if you're handling wood, it can actually start and theoretically do terrible things with its blade. However, this one does have the safety feature. You can't pull the trigger in unless you push this button and you squeeze it in, and this was so cheap it was unbelievable. Let me just put this one out of the way. It's not the subject of this video. So this one also has the feature of a little oil reservoir for chain lubricant oil. And oddly, instead of being a self-feeding wicking system, it's got a little priming bulb that you'd normally find in the gasoline chainsaws, and that is used to pump oil down to the chain. Right, tell you what, I'll show you what came in this kit. Keep in mind that this entire kit cost £18.35 shipped in the UK. So we've got the main body. We've got a pair of safety gloves. I'll try putting them on in a moment. We got a chain. We got, hold on, let me just grab it, a second chain. We got the chain bar. We got a bigger chain bar, wasn't expecting that. We've got a safety guard, a tool that is not compatible with this particular chainsaw, a rechargeable 18-volt battery, a charger for the battery, a screwdriver, double-ended screwdriver for setting the tension of the chain, a tiny little bottle of chain oil. Real lumberjacks will know this is not real chain oil. And then a smattering of hardware for mounting the safety device onto the blade cover. So let's put these out of the way, and I'll show you how this goes together. Now, it's worth mentioning, let's go with the big chain bar here. So I shall thread this on here, and the idea is that this chain can run around this bar. It's got little bits, well, I'll show you the anatomy of the chain. And the way it should rotate is such that it's going to be rotating this way when you're holding the tool like this, and therefore the cutting edge should be pointing that way, which it isn't. So I shall turn this chain bar over, and now the cutting edge is pointing the right direction. But before I assemble it, I'll show you the anatomy of the chain. So I'll put this out of the way, and I'll bring in a picture of the chain. I shall zoom down it and focus onto that. So the chain has blank links. It has links that ride in the chain bar, and then it's got the cutting links. The cutting links have a little standoff that rides on the wood, but also just positions it at just the right height that, though the chain at the right height, that the shaving edge will take a thin shave off. And to keep the balance, you've got one on that side, then alternates to that side, and then back to that side, and then back to this side. And the way it should actually ride in the actual chain is that the cutting edge, the sharp edge, you can feel it when you run your finger across it, should actually be going in there. And you can sharpen these chains. You get tools specifically for it. Or you can use a file if you're skilled. But you get various guides and little tools that basically have little reamers that wind in and give a perfect edge. Project Farm featured some sharpeners. I mentioned Project Farm again because he's been featuring so many things that are relevant to the recent videos. Right, tell you what, let's zoom back out now that you've seen the anatomy of a chain, and we shall take a look at, well, the gloves. They're stretchy. They're magic gloves. Oh, I've got very big hands. They did fit in the hands. They don't come up very high. Will it protect me against a chainsaw? No, it won't. Oh God, I can't get it off again. Ugh. Right, gloves out the way. Right, normally there'd be a nut in the side of this that you'd undo with this. They've just included this because it's a standard thing that they just include with everything, and you don't need it in this instance. It's a little thumb screw, and then the cover comes off. The safety guard, should you wish to fit it, and I do recommend fitting things like this, has a little bush that goes in like this, and it has a spring with the, as far as I can see this end, because it doesn't really work the other way around, this end will go in here, and then you have to tension the spring round like this and put it into there, which is no mean feat, but can be done. And once you've done that, and put the screw in to actually lock all this in position, and it is quite a fumbly job, it means that when you, this will sit just above the chain, but as you cut through things, it will move out the way so that it can have unimpeded access through, but then it will swing back down to protect against that blade. Right, I'm going to take this back off again because it's very fumblesome. It can go on at a later date, but I'm going to be taking this apart anyway. To fit the chain in the chain bar, here is a chain. Things worthy of note. You've got a guide here. You've got, this is the screw that this goes on to hold the side of the casing on, but you've also got this that can go backwards and forwards. This is the bar tensioner. When you put the bar on, you sit it over that, find that little tensioner bit, and you rotate the chain so that it fits into the sprocket that is going to drive it round. Okie dokie. And then, when you tighten, and I'll just use a random screwdriver I have here, when you tighten this little screw here, it drags the chain upwards. Most fumblesome, particularly because the chain is now popping out. It's one of these things that if you've done it a few times, you'll get the hang of it very quickly. But when you tighten it, tighten that screw under there, it will wind the bar in or out, so it will loosen or tighten. And what you're looking for is, you have to put the cover on before doing this, and just keep it a wee bit loose so this bar can slide backwards and forwards. But what you're looking for is a little bit of play. You don't want it to be absolutely tightened to the point it's hard against that, because otherwise it will cause a lot of friction. But you want it so that there's a wee bit of slack, but not too much that it can pop out. And note that the chain does heat up and expand with use. And that's basically it. When you use the tool, this sprocket will drive the chain round and it will basically cut its way through wood. That is more or less it. I should just for completeness say this bit goes on here and then this bit goes on here, but we're about to take it apart. So let's take it apart. Incidentally, see this little trough here with the hole? By putting my finger over at various bits, that's where I found that's where the oil comes out, because I can hear the air hissing out through that hole there. So it is just basically, it's probably going in to the middle of the chain here through this hole, which is it's the one opposite from the tensioning hole, and that will just mean there'll be a sort of film of oil in there. It will then lubricate it as it goes around the unit. Very good. The battery and the charger have been featured in a separate video, so I won't cover them again in this video. They were taken apart completely and reverse engineered in the other video. Right, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 screws in this that I have to take out. So I'll just pause momentarily while I do that. 1 moment, please. Okay, I think that's all the screws out and we're ready to gingerly prise this apart. Actually, we don't have to be too ginger about this. Oh, that's very modular. Oh, look, the battery holder is a universal attachment. That's quite handy. Almost worth getting just for that, isn't it? For making custom lights. The switch is very simple, a simple interlocked switch, and it's just an on-off switch. There's the little oil reservoir with a pipe going into the priming valve, which then pumps through. Let's just lift all this out of the way. And then we've got the motor and a gearbox. Okay, let's take the gearbox out here. So I think I have to take this little Jesus clip off. So let's pop the Jesus clip off. This is where I do shout Jesus when it disappears. Jesus! Oh, I think this might be a sintered. wheel. This, because it just has that sort of slightly, maybe not actually, maybe it is machined. It's hard to say. Ave would know. Arduino versus Evil. He has all the answers. Right, tell you what, here are some more screws for the gearbox. It's very simple. Are the screws all the same size? That's brilliant. Screws all the same size. I wish other manufacturers would do that. All it takes is a little bit of foresight, a little bit of planning. So 4 screws hold the gearbox on. And that lifts off like this, showing it's greasy and I'd say a gearbox. It's a motor in 1 gear, isn't it? That's not much gearing. Lots of schmoo around there. There's the little oil outlet to that, so it is going in there. Interesting. It's not very big, but it is just designed to fit around the motor. It also has a little gauge to show what height the liquid's at. But noting that the pump can't really use all the oil, it's tapped off halfway up, so it's always it can only really use this height of oil. Although having said that, all you have to do is make sure you tilt the thing up the way as you pump the thing, and it will go into that sort of groove. Anyway, is this just going to slide out? Is this captive in any way? It is captive. But that's okay. Has that just been punched at the end? Oh, it has. It looks as though it's been put through and then just punched to flare it out very slightly to capture that in position. That makes sense. But that's it. It's just a single speed motor. Oh, you know what this one doesn't have? Oh, no, it does. There's the thermal cutout. The thermal cutout's quite important, but you've also got the battery as well. The thermal cutout just provides that protection against things getting too hot when people have been using the tools excessively to do massive amounts of cutting when they're really just designed for trimming small branches. Right, tell you what, I'm going to put this together again, and then if it's a nice day tomorrow, I'll take it out and we'll try cutting some wood with it. So that's that for now. I shall put this back together. Oh, no, look at this. It's also got like just screw terminals in this switch. That's quite nice. But there we have it. Super simple. I guess that's why it's so cheap. But it's still ridiculously cheap, particularly given you get another battery for a £5 or something like that. It's ludicrous. But I shall put that back together now, and hopefully if the weather's good, we can take a look at it chopping wood in the morning. One night, please. And did it rain? Yes. Yes, it's raining. So here we go. Not bad at all. So there we have it. Not bad. A very competent little tool. Now keep in mind that chainsaws are incredibly dangerous, owing to the fact that they have utter disregard for human flesh and bone. So just take precautions if you're using something like this. Keep in mind that this one is aimed at a different country as such, and therefore their safety standards aren't quite as high. But you know, in the right hands, it's a very useful tool indeed.